Hi, good afternoon. This is just to demonstrate the capability that we have developed for another one of our client, how to manage the projects, and how exactly to budget the projects, and what all features is already there, which we have built for another client. So it's not going to be the exactly same requirement what you're looking for, but what I can assure you here is it is covered somewhat like a 60 to 70%, and the bare backbone is already built. So all we need to do here is to tweak it according to your business process and deliver to you on that. So first of all, what I will show you here is we have got the default sales, purchase, inventory, invoicing, and all those modules there. Apart from these modules, there is one additional module which you can see there, which is called as jobs. Now let's discuss what is this jobs. So this is nothing else but, let's assume the scenario that you got a tender and you want to start by estimating to that tender, and once the estimation is completed, you actually wanted to get into the project and start taking care of the project. So this actually covers, first of all, an option where you can feed in all your subcontractors information. So let's assume the scenario that you have some subcontractors which you would like to invite to the project. You can go ahead and create all the subcontractors information here. Now I'm not getting into the details of it, which is going to consume a lot of time. So I'll just show you in a broad perspective what the system is already covering. Apart from that, this also takes care of the materials and the bill of materials and other things which is related to that. So I've just created some services like junior architect, senior architect, and consultant, and so on and so forth for that understanding purpose. We do have material requisition and BOQ module. So this is nothing else but this is where you actually define the bill of material. So to correlate this with the Nation Tech requirement. So let's assume that you are engaging on a security project. So on a security project where you want to actually deploy some security cameras, fingerprint, authorization system. So there would be a lot of things which is required for that. So all those kind of information can be first, pushed it into the requisition lines, whatever you require. All the picking details, the when you would like to have all those information, which department needs to confirm it, and whatever values you're going to give here. So let's assume the scenario that I'm just getting into the requisition part of it. So I need a purchase order to be delivered, to be created. Now this purchase order will be actually coming from the client side. So all those information, whatever you require, which product you wanted. So let's assume that I don't have the products like security camera and all, which is already there. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just take a simple case, that is I'm just mentioning that I've got computer which is there. So I can add all those things what I require here, and what I can do here is once I have all those things, I can define whether I have to purchase this one or should I be moving those products. So if you look at this option here, uh, you know you you have the provision to select whether it is a purchase or it is an internal movement. So let's assume that you have some products laying down in your inventory. You can move those items or you can actually do a purchase order against it. So when you go to the purchase order, you can actually create those purchase information where I can just mark it like it is computer. I'm really sorry, I'm having some typo errors. Okay, now I can select against which job line I want to do it. I've not created the job line there, but against, if you want to, I can put it there. Now let's assume that the cost of one computer is approximately 2000 dirhams. I can put that with any of the vendors here, and I can confirm it. So basically that is actually moved to my project. And basically if you come down and if you look at those line items, that will be already added in the purchase of that specific line item there. Now we do have job orders here. Job orders is nothing else but this is a place where you actually define the job. So you can create a job. You can have sub jobs for that. You can do the material planning, what all things you require for that. The subtask. So let's assume that you want a project to be subdivided into. You can do that. Consume the materials, requisitions. So the requisition which you created there has come here, which is asking for a status to be approved. So you can see that I can confirm it. So basically, when I confirm it, it will start for the department to proceed with purchase. So it's all interconnected. The timesheet information can be seen here. Similarly, once you give all those information, you can also verify the same thing with the job costing sheet which we have created. So this is just a job costing sheet which I've created, where it covers material, labor, and overhead. So if you just look at it, on the bottom of it, it is telling you exactly what is your material cost, what is your labor cost, what is your overhead cost. Now we do have some printouts which we have kept it for the job costing purpose. If I remember correctly, you were looking for something where you wanted to have the terms and conditions or certain information to be pre-built, which we can definitely do based on some standard procedures, and we can have the pricing towards the bottom of it. So this is just internal purpose job costing sheet where you have the product, what is the cost, how much is the quantity, and all those details are coming in. We also have a budget report here which actually compares, but I don't have enough data here. So if you look at it, it can compare the total amount, total cost, all these values what you see here against even your theoretical amount, what you're planned against it. So all those information can be compared. So this is just a bare minimum what I'm showing it to you. In fact, the configuration of this entire module typically takes around 2 to 3 days, and I was not finding enough time to go through that. So that's the reason I don't have too many products, or I was not able to show you the details. However, this is a module which we have currently using by another couple of clients. So you can have multiple jobs here created. Each job you can have the timesheet, budget lines to be created against it. So let me just take the same case where we have the budget lines and all. So this is the budget line creation part of it, where all the measures would be shown. What is your budget against what is your cost. So I mean, this talks about everything what happens inside it, and this is closely integrated with the default purchase, sales, and all those modules. So if you just open this purchase order, which is created inside the project, but it is come to our actual purchase team to continue with the purchase once the requisition has been raised, and the purchase can actually continue with that. So that's just a nutshell about what is a capability that we have pre-built. Now we'll have to take it up from here. So feel free to ask your questions so that we can respond back to them. Thank you and have a nice day.